Hi, I'm Janey Umback, and at the time of recording this presentation, I am 1 month into my PhD at Curtin University. In February 2020, I submitted my honours thesis to Deakin University, and my work explored how female fans of musician, actor and global icon Harry Styles took elements of the star's persona and used these as a means for engaging in social and political activism. As part of my thesis, I undertook 13 interviews with female fans, and while all of the young women I spoke to had the commonalities of consuming fanfic and collecting fan objects, they also expressed how incorporating elements of the performer's wardrobe, say for example a shirt, a pair of shoes, or even in one case, a Gucci ring, into their own closets, inspired them to act more confidently and almost in a way act as a version of Harry Styles, even if this was only for a short time while they were wearing the object. To quote one of the fans I spoke to, if Harry has it and I think it'll look appropriate on me, then I'm okay to save up for a couple of weeks and go and buy it. In the same month that I submitted my thesis, Harry Styles performed live on the American version of the Today Show. During rehearsals for the show, the star wore a crocheted cardigan by designer J.W. Anderson. The cardigan, now part of an exhibition at London's V&A Museum, became a viral trend on TikTok, with fans, a majority of whom were female, recreating the look at home while in COVID-19 related lockdown. In a blog post announcing the acquisition, the V&A commended Harry Styles' playful and experimental approach to fashion. Harry Lambert, who is Styles' longtime fashion stylist, gave a digital interview to Who What Wear, in which he told the publication that the cardigan had been chosen specifically for the rehearsals because images taken during rehearsals for Styles' appearance on the same Today Show in 2017 had become the most widely circulated images of the performer available on the internet. By piecing all of these threads together, I started becoming really interested in investigating how or why wardrobe becomes a form of fan text, and specifically how it allows fans to feel and therefore perform as someone other than themselves. Now, I just want to make it clear that I'm not talking about merch, meaning objects available at live concerts or through an artist's official website. I guess in some ways this concept aligns more closely to cosplay. However, in this case, the costume worn by the fan is a subversive act. While other fans may recognise that one is dressed as, for example, Harry Styles, the general public would have no idea that the person wearing the outfit is co-opting a form of what I, through this research, am classifying as drag to emulate their favourite celebrity's persona. So studies of celebrity persona historically centre around the concept of a mask which is worn during the construction of a public identity that is both produced and performed. The internet has changed how celebrities project themselves to an audience, and stars appear to be more relatable now due to what Rojek has classified as the removal of spatial divisions and emotional barriers co-enacted via social media. While celebrities can take greater control of their image through their use of digital platforms, we live in a search culture, which means that streams of personal information and mediated images are really easily accessible at the click of a button or the scroll of a finger. And this content includes websites dedicated to tracking the wardrobe choices of numerous celebrities, with websites like, in this instance, the Harry Styles Fashion Archive, creating a database of information regarding clothing and accessories worn by the star. This blurring of public and private personae results in parasocial bonds between fans and the celebrities they admire. In research relating to stage costumes worn by Australian female actor Deborah Mailman, Colette detailed how wardrobe operates as a major indicator of a star's persona, explicating that costumes act as a full or partial body mask that can be removed like a second skin in order to play their professional onstage role. This concept formed the basis of my work. However, I've chosen to extend this beyond the boundaries of onstage wardrobe, and instead I'm focusing on more accessible articles of clothing. So this is outfits that a fan can buy, or in the case of Styles Cardigan, make a version of, instead of just admiring from a distance. The ability to buy and wear the same clothing and accessories as one's favourite idol creates opportunities for fans to embody the perceived character traits of that person. The way that young women pattern themselves after celebrities like Styles is perhaps best understood through Fraser and Brown's identification theory. Fraser and Brown posit that fans will take on the behaviour and values of celebrities with whom they've developed parasocial relationships. And these behaviours include emulating the way celebrities dress, speak, and communicate non-verbally. However, Fraser and Brown's research, which focused on Elvis impersonation, fails to recognise how a fan's gender impacts this performance. And in fact, there is limited research on this topic. In some ways, I was also greatly influenced by Sharon Cohen, who in 2010 wrote an amazing article also related to Elvis, but this time she was looking at the cultural representations of the king. And these representations included female impersonators, who Cohen suggested created a third category of gender through their performance. Now, Cohen describes this third category as a place of possibility, one in which Elvis begins to function as a sort of conduit, facilitating the blurring of boundaries, offering permission for these female impersonators to explore aspects of their own personalities and then meld those with character traits of the king, so real or imagined. To extend this concept of impersonation even further, I started looking at drag kings, and through theatrical displays and parodies of celebrity image, drag kings are able to challenge society's ideas of gender and enable those who identify as female to act out facets of masculinity. Jack Halberstam describes drag kinging as a performance of non-performativity. And with this in mind, this paper moves to shift away from our understanding of drag as simply a form of stage performance. And instead, in this context, the term is used to explicate the concept of female identifying fans taking fashion cues and personality traits from those fashion cues from their male idols and then incorporating these into their daily lives. Grace and the Fever author Zan Romanoff identified in detail the way that female fans of boy band One Direction, of whom Harry Styles was a member, dressed in drag to break away from traditional ideas of femininity. When writing of her own performative act of dressing like Styles, the author illustrated how fandom has evolved to become a space used to discover alternate versions of ourselves. So Romanoff suggested that dressing in One Direction drag offered a level of protection which was similar to putting on an armour or baring your teeth. As well, and perhaps more importantly, this form of drag makes it possible for fans to separate the idea that feeling and looking good equates to looking acceptably female. This paper hypothesizes that post-internet fan communities utilize a form of drag in order to shape perceptions of identity and connect their involvement in fandom to real-life accomplishments. The aim of this analysis is to investigate how modern-day fandom denaturalizes gender and gives permission for fans to evolve beyond social constraints. Reflecting on research submitted for my honours thesis, I'm ultimately asking what performance through the materiality of everyday wardrobe and when connected to celebrity idols reveals about the social constructs of gender. Fandom is often used as a space to discover aspects of our own selves, but for the main part is detached from the reality of our regular lives. The ability to dress in the drag of one's favourite male idol consequently enables female identifying fans to merge the versions of themselves that they aspire to be with who they really are. Thank you.